The idea that dinosaurs are extinct is one of the most pervasive misconceptions in science, but it's time to set the record straight. We've all heard the story. 66 million years ago, a massive asteroid hit Earth, triggering an apocalypse that wiped out the dinosaurs and cleared the way for mammals to dominate. It's a dramatic story, reinforced by everything from museum exhibits to Hollywood blockbusters. But it's also fundamentally wrong. Dinosaurs didn't vanish. They survived, adapted, and are still with us today. In fact, they're thriving in a form that's probably sitting on a telephone wire or scratching at the dirt in your backyard. Let's start with the asteroid. There's no question it was a catastrophic event. When it struck, it unleashed a global nuclear winter that obliterated approximately 75% of all plant and animal species. For the massive, iconic, non-avian dinosaurs like Triceratops, Brachiosaurus, and Ankylosaurus, this was the end of the road. Their enormous size, once an evolutionary advantage, became a fatal liability when food sources disappeared. The collapse of the global food web left them with no way to survive. But the asteroid didn't wipe out all dinosaurs. Instead, it acted as a brutal evolutionary filter. Long before the impact, a group of dinosaurs called theropods, two-legged, mostly meat-eating creatures that include the T-Rex and Velociraptor, had already started to change. Over millions of years, some theropods began to shrink. They developed feathers, faster metabolisms, and eventually the ability to fly. By the time the asteroid struck, these small feathered theropods were uniquely equipped to endure the harsh conditions of the post-impact world. Why did these early avian dinosaurs survive when their larger relatives didn't? It comes down to adaptability. Their small size meant they required fewer calories to survive. Their feathers provided insulation against the freezing temperatures of the impact winter. Most importantly, their beaks allowed them to eat seeds, one of the few reliable food sources left after the plants died. These survivors didn't just scrape by, they thrived in the New World, setting the stage for a remarkable evolutionary success story. Now here's where things get really interesting. Modern taxonomy, specifically a system called cladistics, tells us that birds didn't just evolve from dinosaurs, they are dinosaurs. This isn't a matter of being distantly related or descended from. In evolutionary biology, you remain part of the group you evolved from. For example, humans evolved from mammals, which means we are mammals. Similarly, birds evolved from theropod dinosaurs, which means they are dinosaurs. The pigeon pecking at crumbs on the sidewalk isn't just a descendant of dinosaurs, it's a living, breathing dinosaur. If you're skeptical, let's turn to the fossil record for proof. First, there's the wishbone, or furcula, a V-shaped bone found in the chests of birds. For a long time, scientists thought this bone was unique to birds. Then they started finding furculae in theropod fossils, including those of the T-Rex. Next, consider hollow bones. Theropods developed lightweight, air-filled bones to help them move quickly despite their size. Modern birds use this exact same skeletal structure to stay light enough for flight. Finally, let's talk about feathers. Thanks to incredible fossil discoveries over the past few decades, we now know that feathers didn't originally evolve for flight. They first appeared in ground-dwelling dinosaurs, likely for warmth or display purposes, long before any of them took to the skies. Here's a fact that might blow your mind. The T-Rex is genetically closer to a modern sparrow than it is to a stegosaurus. That's because the evolutionary tree of dinosaurs is vast and varied, with some branches leading to birds, and others leading to creatures that have no modern descendants. Once you understand this, it changes the way you think about dinosaurs entirely. So, who gets to be in the exclusive dinosaur club? Surprisingly, it's a very short list. Only birds make the cut. Let's clear up some common misconceptions. Crocodiles and alligators, while ancient and often associated with dinosaurs, are not dinosaurs. They're distant cousins that split off from the evolutionary tree millions of years before dinosaurs appeared. Lizards and snakes, also not dinosaurs. They belong to a completely separate branch of reptiles. Even pterodactyls, the flying reptiles that lived alongside dinosaurs, don't qualify. They were a different type of reptile altogether. But the sparrow in your garden, the penguin diving into icy waters, and the cassowary stalking through the Australian outback with its dagger-like claws, all of them are bona fide, card-carrying dinosaurs. Understanding that birds are dinosaurs isn't just a fun fact. It fundamentally changes how we view life on Earth. For too long, we've thought of dinosaurs as evolutionary failures, giant creatures that couldn't adapt to a changing world. But that couldn't be further from the truth. Dinosaurs are one of the most successful groups of animals in Earth's history. They survived an extinction event that wiped out nearly everything else, adapted to new conditions, and went on to conquer every continent. Today, there are over 10,000 species of birds, making them one of the most diverse and widespread groups of animals on the planet. This perspective shift is more than just academic. It's a testament to the resilience of life. The story of dinosaurs isn't one of failure, it's one of survival and transformation. They didn't disappear, they rebranded. The age of dinosaurs never ended, it simply evolved, downsized, and learned to fly. So the next time you see a bird, take a moment to appreciate it for what it truly is, a living dinosaur, a survivor of one of the most catastrophic events in Earth's history, and a reminder of nature's incredible ability to adapt and endure. Dinosaurs are not extinct, they're all around us, thriving in forms both familiar and extraordinary.